What is going on, guys? Joey here. And today we're going to be talking about the age-old sumo or conventional. Now, I'm going to give you the easy, simple, quick answer, and then I'll talk about it a little bit. And the easy answer is, when it comes to stance on the deadlift, a grip on the bench, a stance with your squat, a belt, shoes, wraps, whatever, you are going to probably have to try different things for a couple reasons. One, because you might just objectively be better at one thing versus the other. And this is not like a by the way, I'm by a baseball park, so you're going to be hearing some dings here and there. The reason why you want to try different equipment, different things, is because, one, you might just straight up be better in one versus the other. Two, we live in the age where everybody's looking at everybody on the internet. And everybody's comparing to others, and they're seeing people find success with all different kinds of equipment, despite the context in which they chose to use that equipment or whatever. And if you don't try different things, right? If you don't try different things, you are going to be curious. You're going to want to try something else. You're going to want to try to change something, even though it might be working well. And that is something that you got to kind of get out of your system. I mean, you could just be hella disciplined and be like, nope, what I got's working. I don't give a shit about anything else. And I'm just going to keep, doing what I'm doing and going how I'm going. That's very possible. But in my experience, most people will be doing great. They'll get in their own head and they'll see somebody else doing something. And not most people, maybe like 50%, right? 40%, whatever. And then they'll say, all right, I'm going to change. Or even sometimes my newer lifters will just send me a video and they're just wearing different shoes. And I'm like, what are we doing? Like, what is going on? We didn't talk about that. So those are a couple of reasons why you want to experiment with different things. But when it comes down to being the absolute best super min-max lifter that you can be, you're just going to be better in some stuff, or with some stances, or with some, equipment or whatever, right? Some people are just better sumo versus conventional. Some people, it doesn't matter, and you're going to want to go with what's the most reliable. Or you'd be trading extreme reliability for a little bit better of mechanical advantage. And it's just not worth it when it comes when everything's on the line. You're screwing up consistency and putting up good numbers over time for maybe the judge had something in their eye, and maybe it was your homie and the wind was blowing a certain way, and the platform was just squishy enough, and you were able to lock out a deadlift for a millisecond, and you got lucky and got the down command, and somehow after a billion meets of going 1 for 3 on deads, that one passed, and now you got this inflated total that's totally fake that you can't replicate consistently because you chose to lift one way versus another, right? That's you got to be able to stop fantasizing oh man, I could cheat my lifts and get this. It's like being obsessed with the deadlift bar when you're going to compete on a straight bar, right? Stuff like that you just got to kind of pay attention to and understand what is the goal? To be the best lifter you can be, or to look good for the gram, right? So yeah, leading into sumo versus conventional, the things that would make you better at one versus the other, for a lot of them, for a lot of those things are going to be the same, right? Some people with sumo, they're going to be able to get their hips really, really close to the bar and just have a very advantageous, position. For other people, they just don't have that mobility, and there's nothing they can do about it. You're just not built that way. But they have a very good, consistent conventional, right? Tall people can get their hips over the bar, and sometimes it works really, really well for them. So like you're trading like being close horizontally for being close. Well, I guess it would still be horizontal, just your hips are much higher, right? Obviously, if you have a short torso and long arms, you're going to be good at both. And you just got to kind of have to embrace like what you're good at and try them both. Some people are going to be able to get in a kind of good position for both of them. But their legs are extremely muscular or thick, and they just can't lock out without like a ton of unnecessary friction that they're having to overcome every time they get to lock out or whatever. So, I mean, these are all reasons. Like, again, I don't have anyone in front of me. I'm just like answering a general question that for like the masses, right? So you're going to have to you got to try them both. And it's not just like try it like, oh, I tried it once and it sucked. No, give it a good 8, 10, 12 weeks, 16 weeks, whatever. Do a meet with it and just kind of see how it goes. For me, I've competed with a narrow grip on squat, a wide grip on squat, narrow stance, wide stance. I have benched close grip. I've benched wide grip. I've tried minimal benching, so I'm doing like other pressing motions. I've done like everything, right? And I figured out what works for me, but I also have figured out that for a lot of it doesn't really matter. It's going to be like so minimally different that it just doesn't really matter, and I just pick whatever feels good at the moment. So, yeah, that's kind of the takeaway. Whether something is cheating or not, who fucking cares if it's allowed in a meet? Like, just do it, right? If it's allowed, it's clearly not cheating. It's kind of a meme, but whatever. And, I will say, like, typically, conventional is more reliable than sumo. But there are people that have extremely reliable sumo deadlifts, right? And a lot of that has to do with the angling of the feet. When your feet are angled out, think about it. If somebody pushes you, if you're standing still and somebody pushes you and your toes are pointing out, you're going to fall over, right? If your feet are straight, you're going to be very planted, and you're going to be able to have like a good foundation under you. So I would choose reliability and consistency, and durability. So something that you can train consistently that safely over, you got like a 1 in 4 chance of getting it. And if you get it, yeah, it's great. But you can't consistently replicate it despite you being able to cheat. Maybe once in a while you want to put the deadlift bar on, fuck around in the gym, go ahead. But it's just not, when you're lifting for real stakes, you got to make sure that you lock in, and that you're not wasting your training. I mean, the way that I kind of look at training now is like, I've said this many times in videos before, that I heard from an OG like 10 years ago. And he was talking about squats, and he was just saying that like when you get older, your squats are the first thing to go. And like when it's all said and done, you will have squatted X amount of times under the bar, and that'll be it. And nobody knows when that time is coming. And you will get to a point in your life when you can't be as reckless with your body as you were before. And you're going to have to really, really fight to keep moving. So don't waste your time messing around with stances that like getting trapped in and just sort of like obsessed with like the big numbers when it's not what's best for your competition total. You're just wasting time. You can get hurt. I mean, it's a shame when like everything's going good, but you chose to do something that wasn't on program, and it kind of messed you up. So, it's yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I hope everybody's doing good. That's it, fellas. Just steady building, steady refining, and hopefully in 2024, it's not hopeful. I ain't hoping for shit. It's happening. We're going to show you guys just another level. You guys already see what we're building. So see you guys in the next one. Peace.